What is good, YouTube? So Mei Mei has finally arrived in Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade, and honestly, I think she's actually going to be really strong in terms of a single target damage dealing character, and also in terms if you need a red character. But I do like her. I mean, look at that image. It's perfect, right? So skill 1 is going to be Sever. What it's going to do is it's going to be dealing melee taijutsu damage to a single target, and then the critical damage is going to be large. What that means is that your critical rate is going to be 40%, and your critical damage is going to be 90%, right? So very strong, doing a lot of damage. However, the skill 2, honestly, is her bread and butter, is that it's going to be increasing your own damage dealt for 3 turns, as well as increasing a selected enemy's damage received for 3 turns. This is definitely the skill you want to be upgrading as high as you can. As you can see, mine is level 10. So the damage dealt is going to be increased by 100.1%. And then the enemy that is selected is going to be taking an additional 10.2% damage. Skill 3 is you are dealing melee taijutsu damage to all enemies for 2 hits. Not the greatest, not the worst. It's just what it is. And then the ultimate is you're going to be dealing melee taijutsu damage as well as an additional melee jujitsu damage to a selected enemy for 2 hits, which is very strong. So that's her kit. Let's go ahead and check her out in some content. So we are here on her event that has come out with her release. And so the enemy is going to be weak to the red type. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be just using her skill 2 to increase her damage, and then obviously Yaga and Nanami we are going to be using to also further increase that to begin with. So we also going to be using Sukuna to get the bleed and damage weakness, a little bit of that. So we have that going on right now, right? So now we want to go ahead and use her single target damage just to see how much damage she's going to be able to output while also continually to buff. So 70,000, it's not the worst, not the best. Keep in mind, mine is only at level 5, so the damage output could actually be greater. We're going to continue just buffing and buffing to do more and more. So 98 right there. We also break, which is very nice. Now we're going to boost again because Nanami and Yaga are not going to be able to do that. And we have her ultimate ready to go. And then while also doing this, we are going to also be launching the other buffs from Nanami and Yaga to see how much damage she's actually going to be fully able to output, while also using the amazing Gojo buff. So 1.7 million for a level 5 ability. That's actually kind of insane. I want to go ahead and just level it up as much as I can just to see how far we can actually, take the skill and take all the raw damage. So we're able to go up to level 8. All right. So I want to see what she is going to be capable of doing. We're also going to be leveling this up to level 7. I don't think necessarily you need to be leveling up her other main abilities, right? Ability 3, honestly, you can just leave that alone simply because of the fact that in terms of AoE damage dealing red characters, you just want to use Anniversary Gojo because that's going to be where everything is at. So we're going to go ahead and single target here just to see the damage comparison and see how much of an increase it really is. So not a whole lot, which is fine. It's not a big deal. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to be buffing her up so we can see the overall maximum damage she is going to be able to output when it comes to her ultimate, right? And then we're just going to be using Sukuna to just enact the bleed and all of that fun jazz. Mei Mei should have, I think, one more instance of being able to attack. And then we're going to be actually, boom. And then we'll just do that. Not a big deal. I think actually he's probably going to get killed, unfortunately. So there's the ultimate. Boom. Sukuna doing his damage. Boom. Okay. Still, damn it, died. Oh well. I forgot the bleed. But honestly, in my opinion, I do think Mei Mei is actually pretty decent. Now, is she a perfect character? No, absolutely not. But given the fact that the direction in which characters are going to be coming out, revolving around the Shibuya incident arc, as well as progressing further into the story, I do think this is a nice step. Also, given the fact that is the first Mei Mei we've actually had that is playable, very happy about that. And I'm excited with the direction that they are going now. I like the characters. Hopefully we get more and more characters that have not been, any kind of alteration or variation. So I like it, and I'm all for it.